Honky how?
We need to find out what the sound is. You know what, right? Austin is deep in research right now. We've got some stuff to talk to you guys about today. If you wonder why your utility bills are through the roof, and we're trying to figure out who owns our local distributor of electricity called Tampa Electric.
Tico, also known as. Doing some research here.
The utility bills in the last 4 years have doubled here, and they're doing it with surcharges and taxes without raising the rates.
And I found out, though, this isn't just a Florida problem.
No, it's everywhere.
There's an article, a video that just came up with a news story, and he's talking about basically how his power bill has gone up now to $675, and just a year ago it was around $200 to $250. And this is up in Ohio.
The same thing's happened to us.
This happened in Ohio. This happened in Pennsylvania. It's happened in New Jersey. I mean, the list goes on. I even clicked on a Reddit forum, and there's dozens of Tico charges. Outrageous. Guys talking here. I purchased my brand new home in 2021. Electric's around $200 to $300 a month. All of a sudden, the start of this year started getting higher and higher and higher, and I've noticed it too. He said now this month it was almost $850. One single family home with 1,900 square feet. Well, and I've had the same problem now here is I'm very consistent with my air. When I turn it off, nothing's changed. When I built my house, I did solar board on the roof. I did spray and open cell foam. The window, everything I did the best I could because I custom built my own home. So I was my own contractor. The problem that I don't understand is that you've watched the electric bill almost double in the last year and a half. And
usage has not gone up.
Usage is almost the same as last year. And so when I looked at the bill, and I'll take a photo, I'll let you guys see it. They have all these surcharge fees now. I mean, each surcharge fee is like $20, $30-something. Storm surcharge fee, water surcharge fee. I mean, it adds, the list keeps getting longer and longer and longer. To the point my electric bill is almost $880 this month. Last year it was around $400.
Mine used to be $500. It's almost $1,000.
Yeah.
And and the crazy part about it is that I'm extremely careful. My mom.
Well, you don't have any kids living with you.
Listen,
Nothing.
My mom used to scream and yell about lights. And German. I know how to yell in German. It's great. Terrible.
It really gets everybody's attention.
Yeah. Genug! It's enough, right? Sorry about that. Didn't mean to break your speakers. And
Good morning.
And it was beaten into me verbally to turn the lights off. Yeah. And about the utility bills and all the rest of the stuff.
That's where you got it from your mom.
Oh,
I grew up with that from you.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
It's funny. I do the same thing now, and it works pretty good. Turn the lights off, turn the AC down. But mine's pretty consistent.
Me too.
You don't have any kids at the house.
I live here by myself now.
Yeah.
So, I'm like super miserly when it comes to utility bills.
You're gone half the time, too.
Well, no, and I got a $1,000 a month bill. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And it was $500. And I'm like, wait a minute. And it's the surcharges, it's storm surcharge, this surcharge, that. So what they do, they're a monopoly. That's the problem. I can't call up another electrical provider and have them bring power into my house. That's why the state of Florida regulates them, and they don't allow them to increase their electrical rates without basically approval from Congress and from the governor and everything else. So the problem with that is what they've done, they found a way around it. What happens, and this I'm going to say this to you, and you guys are going to laugh at me, but it's just the truth. As soon as the little hat people get involved, okay, they start looking at what they can do to circumvent the law. And they start finding ways to raise prices.
It's always like that. I thought it wasn't. I used to think you were exaggerating.
I told you.
They always find a loophole on how to gouge, screw, rip off, or destroy whatever somebody else has done.
That's why. Remember when we were up at the Bible Museum up in D.C.? Remember this back in 22. And we saw that they actually had scales there from 2,000 years ago, which were wrong on purpose. And remember, Jesus got all mad at him, says, you cheat people with your weights and scales. So in other words, they tell you, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars for an ounce of gold, and so they counterweight it. But the thing they give them basically isn't a counterweight. It's basically something less than an ounce of gold. And so they did this. They've done this now. We had a supplier that we no longer use. Years ago, we ordered a bunch of stuff from them. It was in packets, and it shows up half the weight, half the product. Yeah. And we didn't realize that, and so we had it assayed. And he was a little hat guy. We have completely and totally ceased doing business with him. Thief is what he was. And the problem that you do is when you run into these people, they control industry, they control money, they control finance. And when they go to the bank, that's run by little hat people, in many cases they're giving loans at 0% interest. Mm-hmm. You didn't know that, did you? And you think, well, that's not fair. Well, that's because they're not going to gouge each other. It's against their laws to do that, as far as from their Talmud. So you think about it for a second, you go, wait a minute, something's really, really, really wrong here. And that's why they've been run out over 100 countries over the millennium. They told you just to get out. We can't deal with this little hat stuff anymore. That's why Henry Ford said, if you dig under every rock deep enough, it's going to always be these same guys. And he was right. And when he first said that to me, I thought, man, he was an anti-Semite. He's awful. And crap, man, the longer you live and the more you see and the more you dig, the more you see it's the truth. You're going to attack Iran because we got pictures of you from Jeffrey Epstein. You got no option. What do you mean? Yeah, it doesn't matter if it costs you guys $1 trillion. It doesn't matter if your national debt goes over $40 trillion. We don't care. We want you to attack Iran, and we don't want to send our troops in. So you're going to do it with your own guys, or we're releasing these photographs. You think, well, they wouldn't do that. They were eating people and children. Are you kidding me? These people have no moral compass. This is some sick stuff. This is the same group that was offering their children to Baal and to Moloch in the Old Testament. That's who this is. And you think it's a synagogue of Satan is what it is what the Bible calls it. The Bible calls it out twice in the book of Revelation. And so the little hat country that exists in the Middle East now is not the same little hat country that was there 2,000 years ago. This is a Rothschild fiefdom. Just thought I'd mention that to you. And it's sad to me because I don't know what to say about any of this stuff, Austin, because, if my utility bill doubled in a year, or a couple of years, actually, it's gone up twice. It keeps going up. Where are they going to stop?
Well, they're not.
Until the state of Florida passes legislation that they can no longer raise rates by imposing surcharges.
Well, here's one. This one isn't as bad as mine was. This is where this coming out now. So they have this basic daily surcharge fee that energy charge up to 100 kilowatts. Then above 1,000 kilowatts, they bump you up to 10 cents more. Then you get a fuel surcharge fee on the first 1,000. Then above it, you get another surcharge fee. Then you get a storm protection charge. Then you get a clean energy transition mechanism. Then you get a storm surcharge. Then you get a Florida gross receipt. Then you get a franchise fee. Then you get municipal public service tax.
What the heck, Austin?
No, this is straight Jewry. It's its finest example. And they don't explain it. You call them up, they say, oh, well, those fees are on there. Well, no, duh, they're on there, ding dong. I got to pay them, or else you shut my power off.
And let me say, and this is why, it's not because people are anti-Semitic, because they don't like Jews. And let me be blunt now. It's because they do crap like this.
And this is
by the way, this makes everybody mad.
Give me camera 4 again. This is a super, super cheap bill. You can see their usage has dropped almost in half since last summer.
Well, they've cut back on purpose.
Right. They barely use anything over 1,000 kilowatts. All of these fees here they add, these are all prorated on how much power is used. So the more power that's used, the more usage on it, these fees go up exponentially.
Well, not exponentially.
Well, it depends. Because a lot of them, they base them on here on the 12/20/21. But then what happens is once you hit a certain threshold, if you go over like 2,000 kilowatt hours, you get hit with another surcharge.
That'd be a geometric increase. Yep. Mm-hmm. But no, correct. The crazy part about this is when you look at it and you see it, you go, well, it's not a big deal. It's only $252. Well, it's probably $252. They're using half the power.
They're using 38 kilowatt hours.
That's
nothing. And then, by the way, what happens is when you go up to, like, say, 70 kilowatt hours, when you break over 2,000, then all of a sudden, like you said, geometric, then the percentage goes up again. They hit you with another fee on top of another fee. And so they keep stair-stepping it up. And here's the whole point of this. And this is the article goes into Tico and Fox News. This is what it's all about. Soaring utility costs impact Tampa residents. I was shocked. Look at the first thing they put on here. As a result, many have upped their thermostats now to keep their house around 80 degrees.
That's what they want us to do. Remember, by the way, they didn't have the power for the cars. Remember that to charge the cars? A lot of this money now, and a lot of this power is going to go into...
And that's what my buddy told me in Orlando that's in the AI industry. He said what they're falling under is called this clean energy transition mechanism. Give me camera 4 again. Clean energy transition mechanism. What this is now is basically a line item
data centers
to throw money at anything they deem so that they don't have to get any approval on.
But look at this. We got storm protection charge and another storm surcharge.
But don't worry about it. Fox News has told us the storm surcharge is going to be removed August 1st now, so it'll reflect on our new bill. It's only been on there for 3 years. They added that on there.
They need to issue a credit to everybody.
No, they said it was to help cover the cost and recovery of basically the last hurricane in 2023.
3 years.
So we had to pay for 3 years in order to rebuild Tico power lines, which, by the way, they don't cost that much money to drop in poles. One of my best friends works as a lineman, foreman, and he's told me the actual bill sheets on what they spend on the poles, on the lines, on the guys. And I can promise you, when you start seeing invoices like this. I mean,
This is every household.
Think about this for a second. This bill right here was 11% of the entire bill.
Well, no, let's look at this one. Let's say they have 1 million homes, which they have more than that. Let's say they have 1 million homes. That means they're going to bring in 24 million. They probably have 2 million homes. They're going to bring in 48 million extra dollars just for that.
Yeah.
In one month.
1 month.
1 month.
1 month. Yeah. 2.4 million. 48. Well, in a year, as far as total.
No. 24 times 1 million is 24 million for that 1 month.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
you got
Yeah,
so you
that's
got
true.
you got 40. If you double that, you got 48 million a month.
Yeah.
That's 400. That's almost $500 million a year on that one charge.
Yeah. It doesn't cost that much money to drop
And
a
see,
new line.
this is why the mafia got into garbage pickups.
Yeah.
Because every single month you get a recurring charge.
And you couldn't refute it. You had to have you have to have
gotta
trash
pick your
picked
trash
up.
up. And that's why in the state of Florida, it's illegal to operate a home off grid.
Oh, I know.
Are you
We
listening
talked
to me?
about it. Yeah.
If you go in with a generator or your own diesel thing and you disconnect from the grid, it's illegal.
If you do it long enough, they will actually condemn your residence.
Mm-hmm.
Found this out. Guy did this out in Polk City years ago. Whole story on him. He basically built a house. It was permitted, right? Couldn't get a final. Couldn't get a final because he didn't have electric hooked up. He said, okay, I'm going to have my general contractor come out and basically put a generator in. And he did. And he signed off. All done correctly, by the way. This wasn't hodgepodge. He wasn't running like a power, line on top of the ground. It's all done correctly. Ran his house, full generator. They come out there, code, county ordinance. They go, what are you doing? I'm living in my house. We don't have a CO in it. Why? Well, I don't care. I can live in my house. It's my house. I built it cash. No, you have to be hooked up to the grid. They went on this battle for like 3 months on it. They eventually came out there and condemned the house. They said it is illegal for you to be in your residence now. This house is condemned. It was a legal battle for like 2 or 3 years, and he lost.
And Tico had another thing. You remember years ago you could put solar panels in.
Yeah.
Which are, by the way, complete and total waste of money. Just let you know that. So if you're trying to use them for backup power during a storm, they always fail.
Well, what they do is, too, and on top of that, they manipulate the doggone money they give you back on it all the time.
Well, no, what they do, they give you a $25,000 rebate, right? But you're not allowed to go off grid with it.
Yeah.
In other words, you can't run the power to your house from the solar panels with charged batteries in a storm and you have no power outage. Can't do it. It makes it illegal. Can't do it. They have to have a switch on there that automatically cuts off the power going to Tico so they don't backfeed the grid, and you can't allow yourself to run on a grid backup and still get the $25,000. It's all manipulated. And the sad part about it is that you think, well, I'm going to be independent. You can't. Not in Florida. You can't do it. And, Carpenter's Home did this years ago. I remember this when they had that big facility. They had their utility bill was so high because it's a 10,000-seat auditorium that what they would do is they would run a generator during peak times, a big, huge diesel generator on like a 350 Chevrolet engine on diesel, right? And they would run that thing, and they had a 10,000-gallon tank put under the ground, and it was cheaper to run that generator and run that facility than it was to buy the power from Tico. Yep. And what they would do is all the peak times, it would automatically transfer switch over, and they'd have the generator running. Then what happened is the idiots who bought it, after it went bankrupt, if you can believe that, they decided to let the generator run down of fuel, and it turned off, and nobody had bothered to tell them it had been built on top of an artesian well. Whoa, am I kidding? No. And what happened is the sanctuary filled up with water. It's about 6 feet deep. And you're like, well, that's awful. That was it, mold. But it was mold and mold spores everywhere. The whole building had to be torn down and condemned. Happened here locally. Carpenter's Home Church. It was in Lakeland. It was basically up for 40 years, and you could see the doggone cross from Carpenter's Home Church 40 miles away in Lake Wales. Not anymore. It's gone. And the sad part about it is that you don't realize how powerful these utility companies are if you've got to use them to keep your sump pumps going. And what happened is they had defaulted on their doggone loans, and the generator wasn't working right. It ran out of fuel, and that was the end of it. And I saw that happen when it happened, and they tore the whole facility down. But the sad part about it is, how far do you let your house go?
Right. Well,
and now diesel fuel's so expensive. Back then, diesel fuel was 89 cents a gallon, right? 70 cents a gallon. They could fill a 1,000-gallon tank up for.
Well, we covered it. We covered it yesterday. Diesel's trading at double the price of regular fuel on purpose.
So that way you could run the diesel and actually do it cheaper than Tico back then. You can't do that anymore.
Not $6 a gallon. You're not.
Not anymore. And then propane's even more expensive. And the propane is just as bad. You go in and you start the initial propane service. They charge you $1.50 for a gallon. They come in a year later, fill it up. It's $8 a gallon for the same propane.
Well, they tried to screw me over, and I basically, because I bought my tank and it's buried, they couldn't pull that stunt with me. Because again, I think it's Amerigas or whatever company it is now.
We don't know the name of it.
No, there's one that got bought out. There was a little hat when they came in and bought up everybody. And so the problem is you can't ever find out because all these names change, and then suddenly they go in and they go, oh, Well, this one now owns it, this one owns it, and this one owns it. Now suddenly every single company, every single utility, everybody's owned by the exact same company.
That's right. Well, and remember, give me this camera, Rich. Remember what I told you years ago, and you guys laughed at me. And and you think, well, it can't always be about the little hat country. Okay. What they do is they take people like Bill Gates or Bezos or any other group of weirdos, and they fund them with unlimited cash. And they bring their top management executive marketing teams in with them after they've built infrastructure. Okay? And then what it allows them to do is to give them unlimited amounts of expansion capability. They give them unlimited amounts of bandwidth to basically pick up all the what they want to do. See, the new Gutenberg press is the internet. It's a double-edged sword for these guys because even though they ban you on YouTube or they regulate you on YouTube, you still have Rumble and a whole bunch of other platforms that we're on. Or you go directly to thebrowershow.com and watch the interview.
If you guys haven't seen this, for all the new listeners on here, we've got this site we put together last year, thebrowershow.com. And this goes with
it gives us the ability to tell you guys the truth.
Everything we have on here, we have all the shows. And, of course, we still have the access to YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Gab, iHeart, Apple Podcasts. But what this does is this allows us to have an independent private server. This is the reason why, if you guys know, like last week, this website was down for a couple hours. We were actually changing over and putting it on a larger server because the doggone bandwidth this site takes, because we have all these shows embedded in the server. So we can't, it'd be very difficult for it to be taken down without some serious involvement on a hard line, basically going in trying to remove.
Todd told us from Global Star, because we still use Global Star, great company. I love Todd, good friend. He said that he had to shift it out from Global Star because he was using 15 terabytes of data every month. 15 terabytes. He said, Ted, it was just too much, because then that was just audio only also. This is all video now. It consumes huge amounts of bandwidth. So when you guys support Health Masters and you get your purple sticks or your GHI or your protein powder from us, it allows us to do this for you guys, to allow you to have the information that we're giving you today, because most people aren't going to talk about stuff like this. They're not going to do it, period, because it's too politically incorrect. I had a friend of mine the other day. I met him and I said, "You love the show. Why? It's politically incorrect." What do you mean? I said, "It's wrong. It's wrong about everything as far as how we act. Everything's wrong according to everybody else, but it's all the truth." And see, and that's the problem that you have. Everybody's scared to speak the truth. I have a friend of mine right now. Her college transcripts are all messed up because of the mistake, a clerical error at the college. And she's trying to be nice to get it done, and it's not getting done. No. And sometimes, and I've told her years ago, months ago, I told her, I said, sometimes you just can't be nice. Sometimes you just got to tell the truth. Sometimes you got to find somebody when you call them up. You got to ask them, do you have the authority to fix this for me? If not, put somebody on the phone who does. If you have the authority to make this decision. Because if they don't have the authority, they're just going to push you down the road. It's going to take you another day, another week, another month to try to get stuff fixed. It never gets done because of the whole bureaucracy. It's called the Peter Principle. As layers of management increase, so does inefficiency. And you see it over and over again. And see, it's the same thing that we always tell folks. If you're going to go to college, make sure you have a major that's going to allow you to get licensed, doctor, attorney, lawyer, whatever, nurse. Don't be going in and getting these weird degrees that have no useful purpose, because they'll give you a student loan that you can never bankrupt. And you're stuck with it. And you can't, and now all of a sudden it goes with you to the grave. And you're paying 10, 12, 14% if you default on it. Austin knows this, and we've talked about it so many times. All right, that's enough of this.
Anyways, okay. I told you guys I was going to cover it yesterday. I'm going to go into detail on it today. A lot of people have issues with this. I'm going to add a few more things to this article that aren't on this article. It says melatonin and nutrition, 2 keys to falling asleep easily, and I'm going to add a few more on there. It says this basically talks about increasing melatonin production of foods that actually act as sleep aids. Melatonin, known as a sleep hormone, plays a significant role in regulating the sleep-wake cycle. The amount of melatonin secreted is related to environmental light intensity. Where there is less light at night, the pineal gland, the brain secretes melatonin to help us fall asleep. When the light brightens in the morning, melatonin secretion decreases and we wake up on our own. That's how the normal cycle runs. This is one of the reasons why I tell everybody, make sure you have a pretty dark room when you go to sleep. I know out here in the studio, we have a bedroom set up, guest bedroom set up.
Make it pitch black and put a flashlight by the bed.
And this is just out here. When I've stayed out here before, it's black. I mean, there's not a window in the bedroom. You close the door, you can't see your hand in front of your face.
That's dark.
And it's amazing. And you sleep like a baby. You shut the Wi-Fi off if you want to in here, and then it's like, good luck waking up in the morning if you don't turn your alarm on. Because what happens is there's never any light that shows up.
No idea.
And you just sleep. And so it's nice if you have a weekend off and you're not working and you're like, I just want to get some really, really deep sleep. You'll wake up, you're like, man, I slept for 7 or 8 hours. I feel like I slept for 2 or 3 days as far as energy levels. The reason why this happens is melatonin production massively increases naturally. This is why people, when they sleep with all these lights in their room all the time, and I've had issues at hotels, and so have you.
People leave the lights on and they leave their TVs on all night.
My biggest pet peeve, I stay at a hotel and like the phone's got 4 lights that are flashing and the TV's got a light on it and the doggone smoke detector's got a light.
That thing lights the room up.
No, you wake up all these lights flashing all night. I've gone in before and so is he. I'll put towels or shirts in front of stuff in the middle of the night. Like I want to sleep. Close the blinds, sleep. Secondly, you've got to shut off your Wi-Fi. And I know people sometimes say, oh, that's crazy, conspiracy theory. It is a 100% definitive fact in my personal lifestyle. Now, what you do with your own life, it's completely up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm telling you this. I have told this to dozens and dozens of people who have had good results with it. And a lot of it also depends on where the Wi-Fi router is located in your house. In most cases, the Wi-Fi router is located somewhere near your bedroom. Just so there's faster Wi-Fi. They try to centralize it or put it to the side of the house. When this happens, the Wi-Fi and the 5G acts like almost a light that you can't see. Your pineal gland sees it because it's a 5G frequency wave.
So it's basically radiation.
It's radiation. It's what it is. I mean, it's Wi-Fi radiation. It's what happens is it throws off your brain because even though the room may be black.
Pineal gland thinks you're in bright sunlight.
Correct. It thinks there's some type of outside light being emitted into the room even though you can't see it with your visible eyes. On top of that, Wi-Fi radiation is a mitochondrial disruptor. What that means is it causes your body to have disrupted frequency. So if you're natural, put it this way, if you're like, you're on an AM radio, which nobody listens to anymore, or FM radio, and 92.3 is your perfect frequency. You get perfect clarity on there. Well, Wi-Fi kind of throws it like 92.4. So you might still get some of the noise, you might get some of the sound, but it's thrown off just enough to where the frequency isn't dialed in perfect. When your body's trying to rest and your body's having a lot of stress and a lot of cortisol and you throw in Wi-Fi, it disrupts it even more. It's compounded. That's why some people say, well, I leave my Wi-Fi on, I have a problem. Other people say, I turn my Wi-Fi off and I sleep incredible. Now I have no problems. It's all person specific.
You know, I've had the same thing. I go to sleep one night, and I wake up the next morning. I'm like, God, why was I tossing all night? Walk in the garage, this is where my switch is for the Wi-Fi. Left it on by accident. I forgot to turn it off. And I'm like, I can't believe I did that. And I've got up in the middle of the night, not sleeping. I said, okay, let me check the Wi-Fi. And sure enough, it's on. And then when I leave it off at night, like a baby. It's like a baby.
This is what it is. I mean,
and you're still getting the peripheral Wi-Fi from the neighbors. You still get that.
It's not
but
nearly
it's not
as
the
bad.
intensity.
Now, especially if your neighbor's a little far off and everything else, you're not getting much of it all. But when you got routers on now, the first thing it says, sunshine, exposure to sun during the day not only promotes the synthesis of vitamin D, but it helps your body synthesize melatonin. This is another reason why when people stay in inside desk jobs all day long and get virtually no sunshine and their D3 drops, they also have problems sleeping. It says when your eyes see sunlight, they transmit the message to the brain to regulate your biological clock. During the day, the brain starts synthesizing serotonin and converts it to melatonin. Nutritionists have said both the intensity and time of sunlight exposure are particularly important. Indoor light or sunlight through window lacks the intensity, so it's best to get direct outdoor sunshine for at least 30 minutes a day in total aggregate. Now, it doesn't have to mean you sit right there and stare at the sun, but it's good to even when you're outside. Some people basically wear hats if they don't want to basically get sun on their face and other things like that.
That's me.
But you get it. But being outside and at least 30 minutes a day. It says nutrition. One of the biggest things in here is looking at consistent portion sizes support circadian rhythm, not overeating massive amounts of food.
2,000 calories a meal, you're going to get fat and you're going to throw your whole circadian rhythm off.
You're going to get lethargic. It says this keeps the body more energetic during the day, making it feel tired naturally at night so it's easier to fall asleep. They say the following nutrients play a role. Tryptophan, amino acid, the raw material for serotonin synthesis and melatonin conversion. B vitamins, folate, B6, B12, give me camera 4. And the synthesis of serotonin, melatonin, green dark vegetables, they said seaweed, mushrooms, folic acid as far as high amounts, vitamin B6 found in different types of chicken. I don't know why they put pork on this list. I would scratch that out. Why on God's green earth would you recommend somebody eat pork for vitamin B6?
Because they don't have any idea how bad
stupid.
it is.
I just read that in there. I saw this article. I missed that the first time.
I was hoping you weren't going to speak about it, but you did.
I'm going to address it because it's on camera 4. Chicken, pistachio, pork. Oh, yes. I eat my daily doses of pork 6 times a day so I can get my B6.
I just take B6. And plus, pork's the leading cause of global cancer, period.
It's a nasty meat. It's not even good for you. It doesn't even digest properly.
No, wait, stop. I have to say something.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure that I'm going to heat it up to 600 degrees.
Yes.
And I'm going to kill the Dracaena larvae in it. And in my spot, people tell me that. I like my pork. And
I'll heat it enough to kill the parasites.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take a big souffle of pork, and you got worms crawling all through it, right? Just crawling through it. Say, okay, I'm going to kill these things. So you stick the souffle in the oven, you heat it at 600 degrees, which, by the way, you can't get that hot in an oven. And now you got this.
Get a smoker.
Well, no, now you got this pork that you've got it heated up, that you've got the parasites, they're dead in it. So now you're eating dead cooked parasites. What are you thinking?
Yummy.
I mean, you're eating worms. You're like, ugh. Yeah. Now, they may be dead worms, you hope. If they're not, they're going to infest your larvae. These larvae get in your body. I mean, Marlon Brando got infested with trichina. And, all these crazy things that people eat, and they think they're going to be okay because they cook it good enough. Well, how about this? How about you just don't eat meat that has parasites in it?
Oh, that's a crazy concept.
Oh, my gosh. How about I don't want to eat dead cooked worms? And I have a friend of mine, bless his heart, he's fought his weight all the time. I talked to him today. He's blown up again. I feel bad for him. He eats pork. And no matter what I say to him, I like my bacon. And that article from the Biological Therapy, Volume 1, Number 2, 1983, by Professor Hans Reckwig, The Adverse Influence of Pork Consumption on Health, says if you eat a pig, you look like a pig because it goes where it biologically belongs in the body. So people eat a lot of bacon from the back of the pig's neck. They get big, thick, fatty folds in the back of their neck, jowls like this. They start looking like a hog. You think, that's disgusting. You can read the article yourself. So if you want to look like a pig, eat a pig. You want to be infested with worms, eat a pig. I
think that's pretty clear. I mean, people go, well, I mean, farm-raised pigs, they're given dewormers and they don't have any parasites.
Oh, you believe that? I don't believe that.
My whole point is this.
I spoke to an FDA meat inspector and he told me every time they open up a hog, they have to go around all the worms. Every time. And these are farm-raised hogs.
Okay, first off, let's clarify this. Hogs, in essence, in the basics of the world, they are scavenger animals. That is their designation. That is why they're on Earth. That is their purpose.
That's why God made them.
Every animal has a purpose in its usefulness, what it does in the entire, basically.
Except for ticks, mosquitoes.
They're from hell.
I think the Nephilim built those suckers.
Those things suck.
Oh my gosh! Well, they'll take the T-Rexes and all that kind of stuff. I think they built those things too. Because remember, they can't build and give you life.
They can modify.
They can modify and manipulate DNA. So something's wrong with ticks and mosquitoes.
Yeah,
I mean they don't serve any useful purpose.
The circle of life isn't necessary. I mean, you got
ants. Ants are okay.
Ants are dead. I was just about to say ants as much as red ants. Yeah.
A tick, a blood-sucking tick? What's that? What is it? And they transmit all kinds of disease. And mosquitoes, big proboscis, they stick it down the side of you.
All they do, they just suck blood and go around.
And they inject the blood from the prior person or entity or whatever the animal that they had basically injected into you, along with a desensitizing agent. I mean, they're nasty little creatures.
I gotta get back to my sleep article.
Okay, back to your article.
I got sidetracked on pork. Sorry. Okay, GABA, nutrient sleep aid.
We don't use a script.
No, I don't use a script. This is one of the primary products or primary nutrients that we have in total rest is GABA, which is also magnesium. GABA, magnesium, and L-theanine and taurine.
This product will put you
Inositol.
down.
This product's good. It doesn't just put you down.
It relaxes you.
It helps to relax you naturally. It helps to basically decrease stress. It basically helps to relax the body without having any type of daily grogginess or sedation, so to speak. It's a natural kind of calm aid that works really good, but it also feeds your body because we also have magnesium in it as well, which is important to have.
And also another good product is ashwagandha. We have that too.
Yes, and that's also the cortisol buster.
That you talk about putting you in the. Now, I'm not saying this is a new age standpoint. Don't look at me like that. Don't get mad on so many letters.
No,
Okay?
don't get it. Don't twist it up on me.
No, don't twist it up on me.
Yeah.
The world calls it. It keeps you in a nice Zen state, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Zen state.
Just chill out all the time.
Is it Zen? Isn't that what they call those new tobacco pouches?
Oh yeah, but I'm not. But this one really does it for you. It keeps you all calm. The tobacco pouch.
Nicotine's a stimulant. It's a central nervous system stimulant.
It doesn't give you.
It does not put you to bed. You use nicotine before bed, you're not going to sleep. So melatonin supplements are mainly used to dispel jet lag and help one fall asleep. However, people have found out that natural supplementation with melatonin now can help out significantly with rest.
It's a stronger antioxidant than vitamin C.
That's the crazy part I was going to get into. Now, I'm not making this claim, and I'm not telling you to do this, but they've done research studies now in individuals that have problems with Alzheimer's and dementia, and they've used ultra-high doses of melatonin. Again, this is clinical trials up to like 30 milligrams of melatonin. And they said when they do that in patients, a lot of times they actually have brain restorative effects at that dosage, which is crazy when you think about it.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I'll pull up the article again. This is from years back, and it's actually an antioxidant on the brain. Again, don't take 10 of our melatonin, you probably won't wake up in the morning. Well, you'll wake up, but you're
Groggy.
going to be groggy.
And then you have to hammer the purple six to wake up.
I've had them before when I've done late night podcasts, and I don't get in bed until like 2 or 3 o'clock, and I'll end up taking like 4 or 5 melatonin, which is like 15 milligrams. I've done it before. And you'll sleep. Man, that alarm goes off at 7 a.m. You want to sleep for 4 or 5 hours. It's just so you got to dose it properly. Don't overdo them. Second one I hear is GABA. Says this is basically helps out tons of people with relaxing and also anxiety, such as those with nervous system disorders, basically hypersympathetic nerve activity. It can help reduce that with the GABA. And it says on here essentially magnesium or bananas and milk.
I don't buy that one.
No, I do for this. Now, that's the only way I'd recommend it because I've done this before.
Well, the milk has calcium in it. Helps you relax. Oh, it's your phone.
Why are you calling me right now? You know not to call me right now. You're watching the show right now and you're calling me. Don't call me. I'm putting my phone on mute. Anyways, back to this.
Why do you fuss at me? I don't fuss at you when you do that.
I'm not fussing at you. I'm fussing at
I
him.
got to make sure my other one's turned off. Oh, my gosh, this is crazy.
Everybody seems to always forget that I have a 10 o'clock podcast. He's probably not watching the show. He probably forgot. Milk. I only will, this is my personal opinion, I will only drink raw certified organic milk. I don't drink pasteurized milk. I don't drink homogenized milk. I have done this before. If I'm kind of tired, but I'm not that tired, but I'm kind of hungry and I'm not that hungry, and I already ate eggs, I don't want to eat, and I'll drink about 4 or 5 ounces of raw milk before bed, and it almost every single time it puts you to bed pretty good.
Now, saying calcium, magnesium also, I like the magnesium. I don't like the calcium supplements. I mean, if you need it for osteoporotic reasons and you're a lady.
We have the Osomag for that.
The men don't need to take that
It says
at all.
milk is a useful source of calcium.
Milk
that is only in raw milk, man. Homogenized, ultra-pasteurized milk is not what you think it is. I have an entire article on the website, and I will do another expose if you want me to, on ultra-pasteurized milk, what is done to it, what it does to the body, and how essentially your body can't even process it.
Well, they destroy the enzyme phosphatase.
There's none.
You can't use it.
There's no enzymes. It's a dead food.
They don't even have to refrigerate it.
No, the only reason they refrigerate ultra-pasteurized milk now is to basically make it taste better and fresher.
Well, it make you think you're getting something real.
Correct, and it's not.
No.
And so magnesium also too. That's in the total rest.
Like they refrigerate oat milk and almond milk, which are complete garbage.
Dude, this stuff will sit on the shelf for months.
Well, they don't care. Well, they don't have to. They refrigerate it because it makes you buy it.
And remember this. This is a big deal because I used to drink this stuff all the time. I used to think almond milk was this big, great deal.
Calcium carbonate.
No, and then I found out. I looked at the ingredient list. Like the third ingredient is calcium carbonate and water. That's all it is. And they add some almond flavoring to it to make you think you're drinking something decent, an emulsifier to make it thicker. And you realize, and I'm telling you this right now, because I've talked to people with this issue, is that they're talking about now a lot of this stuff with almond milk is directly leads to kidney stones.
And atherosclerotic plaque.
Because you're drinking straight calcium
hardening
all day.
the arteries.
And it's calcium carbonate. Even like our Osomag we use. It's basically...
Can you please turn your telephone off? I'm fussing now.
I put it on mute.
Just turn it off.
Yeah. So the thing is, calcium carbonate is rock. It's shell. It can't be used in the body for any significant purpose. It doesn't go to the bone. Nope. That's the problem with it.
It goes to the arteries.
The reason why in the Osomag formula we have the basically the MCH, the microcrystalline hydroxyconcentrate, which is derived from bovine tissue. So it actually goes to the body. You're not just drinking raw.
But men still don't need it.
No, absolutely not. So again, these are things you could do to help your body fall asleep better with the magnesium, the total rest, and the melatonin, and also to turning your Wi-Fi off, getting some sunshine, and also to another thing that I will add on here, getting some exercise during the day. This is another big one. Because what happens is if you don't exercise and you're really, really just basically sedentary all day and you're not really doing much, what happens is the body isn't triggered as much to get more sleep because it hasn't done anything. You've been sitting on a couch on a computer all day. So the body doesn't find any exertion or any activity that's been rigorous to be like, oh, I really need sleep right now. When you go into the gym or you go outside or you go for a walk or you go do cardio, whatever it may be, your body's more triggered. Okay, I've done exercise day. I need to recover. I need to sleep. I need to get some protein in, and I need rest. When you lay on the couch all day and you're a slug, that's why a lot of times if you do that, if you have like a lazy day and you're like chilling out all day and it's rainy, you go to bed that night, a lot of times you don't sleep as good if you ever kind of actually monitor it because you find your body's been already complacent all day. So,
by the way, look at the walnuts here. Give me camera 4, Rich.
The walnuts and almonds look good.
No, give me camera 4. Okay, look at the bottom. See the walnuts? Now, they look like a brain.
They do kind of look like a brain.
Well, they're really good for the brain. Just thought I'd mention
that.
I
love walnuts.
Yeah. All right.
Just watch them, though. If you eat a large amount, they'll pack some weight on you. They're high in fat.
All right. I got another story. You got another one?
Go.
5 signs of organ damage as far as kidney damage. It can show in your face first. And you got to realize that a lot of people don't understand that they can have kidney damage and they don't even know about it. The kidneys, and they underpin nearly every system in the body because they remove poison from the body, via the urine. When kidneys are damaged often by diabetes or high blood pressure, their filtering units become scarred and they lose the ability to remove waste from the blood. I remember when I took human physiology at Florida State, we started looking at kidneys. I cannot believe how complicated they are. No, it's unbelievably how complicated they are. Kidney disease is often called the silent killer because in the early stages it rarely shows obvious symptoms. By the time noticeable issues like fatigue, nausea, swelling in the legs appear, and the organs may have already lost a significant amount of function. In recent years, both clinical research and centuries-old medical traditions have pointed to the face as a remarkable, revealing window into the function. You have basically dullness of the skin that you start to see. You have eye puffiness under the eyes. You start having all these issues. A healthy complexion has a warm, rosy undertone, but when the kidneys are starting to fail, the glow will fade. A paler, shallow complexion is the most scientifically grounded facial signs. When kidney function declines, this EPO production drops, leaving anemia or shortage of oxygen-carrying red blood cells. So be really, really careful with your kidneys. Now, the biggest thing that I've seen that causes kidney damage right now are statin drugs, period. Yeah. Done. The statin drugs are, because they cause the statin drugs can cause skeletal muscle necrosis. In other words, the skeletal muscles start to deteriorate and rot inside of the body. That's what it means. And then they get into the bloodstream and they get into the kidneys and they start plugging up the kidneys. You start having kidney issues, kidney failure, then you need kidney transplants. I've seen it over and over and over again. That's why I tell you the number one drug never, ever to use, period. There's other ways to mitigate it are statin drugs. In fact, in our book, Breakthrough Health, I go into detail about the number one drug. I cover the top 10 drugs never to use, and I give you all the side effects. And statin drugs are that bad. They say if you're on them for 37 years, you'll live 3 days longer. Wait a minute, 3 days? And with all those side effects, it's not worth it. I mean, it's ridiculous. Plus all the health issues you have from them, not worth it. If you're worried about your cholesterol, drink more water, number one. Stop eating pork, number two. Number three, stop drinking dairy products. Stop eating cheese products, which are just as much, they're ultra pasteurized now too. All that stuff just needs to come out of your diet, and you'll be shocked with the more water and cutting out those dairy products, how quickly you'll start feeling a whole lot better. By the way, Iceland now is the only NATO country that doesn't have any kind of military and has relied completely on NATO to protect itself now in the last 40, 50 years. They only have about 500,000 people there. And now they're basically trying to figure out what to do in the case of Russia, which is not going to happen, invades them. Russia's never said anything about invading Iceland. The only people that are actually wanting to invade, this Iceland is basically the United States. That's what Donald Trump. So I got a big kick out of that. I saw that the other day, and I just don't know how to handle any of that stuff because, quite frankly, how can you basically figure this stuff out? Bill Maher, and I covered this the other day. I want to cover it one more time because I thought it was a big topic. It's with Bill Maher. He says Maher says that Democrats have opened the door with crazy cultural issues that they can't even define what a woman is. Now, I'm going to say that again. Now, I just had a friend of mine over in Finland. They went to school the other day, and they were at the university campus, and they told me that everybody there is pink, green, purple hair. They can't tell if they're men or women, often.
I'm not surprised.
No, and they all have facial piercings, and they're covered in tattoos, and they're all so woke, it's unbelievable. Now, let me ask you a question. If they're walking around like this and they're all drugged up in many cases, not all cases, and they're acting like this, who's going to run Finland in 20 years?
The crazies.
It's like that movie, The Crazies. and so that's why Bill Maher is saying that. They start coming out with this crazy stuff and start talking about it. And now you got to ask yourself a question. How in the world are they going to run their own country like this when everything they want is socialism and giving more and more stuff away? Crazy. What's your next story, also?
Well, it's concepts that are not applicable in the real world. They're not. No. They sound great on paper from a communist, really, really idiotic standpoint, right? So you have this really just utopian ideology how everybody's supposed to be protected and safe, and everybody has free health care and free college and free housing, and everything's free, and we're all free for me. But then nobody can figure out how to make everything paid for. How do you pay for the houses? Who pays the subcontractors to build the apartments? Who pays for the professors to teach the schools? Well, the only way you can do it is continual debt or printing new money. The problem is you can't do that in a country unless you have some type of production, GDP. You have to have an economy. The entire country can't be 100% free. It doesn't work that way. And so the concept that eludes them is, so what do? Well, everybody that makes any money, that produces anything, they just need to be taxed. 60, 70, 89, like the lady said on the plane that one time.
Or on the surcharge on the Tico bills.
Right.
No.
So now you got to pay another surcharge on top of a surcharge on top of a surcharge. And what's interesting in this is they're saying with Tico now, this 10% storm surcharge fee is going to drop off in August. We talked about how much revenue it's probably already generated in the last
billions
year.
of dollars.
Billions.
Billions.
Billions. And then what's happened is now, and this is what somebody said in a comment on that Reddit forum, and it made sense. They said, does not everybody see what they're doing? They're raising the surcharges on all the other ones to get the price point up. So when they drop the storm surcharge fee, their increase as far as isn't going to drop.
This is the same thing they do with diesel fuel, Austin. Yeah. The same thing they do with gasoline. They raise the price as high as they can get until the people say no more. Then they back it off a little bit so everybody calms down. Now you're paying $4 a gallon for diesel fuel. You think, this is so much better.
What's going to happen is
it should be 50 cents.
Next month now, it's gotten so high. Next month, the surcharge fee is going to drop off. So we're going to get like an $80 discount on the bill. Everybody's going to go, it's come down now in August. They did this on purpose.
And they shut up.
And then everybody goes, they've dropped the prices down. No, they haven't. They'll do this again in a year. There's another storm. They'll put a giant 10% surcharge fee.
Little happy.
The prices will keep going up further and further. What they'll do is, we're dropping the surcharge fee. It'll drop it down. They stair step it. This is what they always do. To a point where they don't want anybody to have anything. And essentially, they're going to say next, is how they're doing it. We need to have your Tico thermostat tied into the grid. It needs to be a smart grid, smart thermostat.
They've already done that.
They're doing that now. They're giving you, listen, it'll save you like $15 a month. They're promoting it.
Remember Klaus Schwab said, this is the guy who runs around in a wedding dress that's like half naked on the beach in Lake Geneva. He's that pervert from Switzerland. He said, by 2030, you'll own nothing. You'll be happy. I mean, he's like a Bond villain. Well, he should have been like in Goldfinger or something. The guy's like a creep.
Here's one of the biggest things you can do in this weird world we're in, maintain at least some level of freedom, is use cash. You go, how's that tied in with it?
In Finland, by the way, they don't even use checks in Finland anymore at all. No checks, because they don't want to use paper, because they're a big lumber company. They like to have Finland's run by idiots. They won't even use checks, Austin. They use it's all wire transfers.
Yeah. What's happened now is, and Catherine Austin Fitz did an article on this the other day, and she was spot on with it. And she talked about the next phase is them trying to move cash out of society. And they've done this a lot of places now. That's why if I go somewhere,
they've already dumped pennies.
If I go somewhere and they're cashless, they only take cards. In most cases, if I'm there, like for instance, the other day, a while back ago, there's this place in Lakeland. And I'm not going to put the name out there because they have all these different little places in there have food. It's an ice cream shop. I took the kids in there, and they got a couple scoops. They're eating the scoops, and all of a sudden, I get to the end. They said, it's card only. I pulled a $20 bill. I said, no, it's card only. So what do you mean card only? He said, card only. I said, okay, whatever. So I paid him with a card because the kids are eating ice cream. I'm not going to take the kids' ice cream away from them and give them back.
There's another point. Go ahead, Finn. I want to tell you the real reason they do this.
Well, no. So what happens, I said, okay, but I won't go back. The reason why I'm so adamant about paying cash as much as I can is once they get where they're pushing this for, and they're going to do it eventually, but we can push it off as long as we want, is a CBDC, the centralized digital currency they want. Right now, with a cash transaction, you have basically a two-lock system, right? Say, Dad wants my hat. I say, it's fine. I'll sign it. I'll sign my name on it for you. I'll sell it to you for $20. You give me a $20 bill, I give you a hat. That's a two-lock transaction. He's got the 20, I've got the hat. We both want it. We do a swap. We have to be in agreement on it. Done. They want to put it what's called a three-lock system, where the bank isn't even involved, and it's a digital central currency, a central digitalized bank that controls the transaction. Meaning, all they have to do now when you do that transaction, and it goes way beyond just a credit card transaction, it goes through an AI data system, and if that transaction is listed on anything that they don't want it to be included in your name, they block the transaction. Now, they've already done this in a lot of cases with credit cards, with firearms, with stuff in the past. If you guys remember the CBD thing that they were doing, a lot of stuff like that. They want to take it a whole nother further. They want to be able to build an AI data profile on you, have that AI data profile uploaded to the cloud, and then have that, every transaction is run through your profile. So, for example, during the next COVID pandemic that they try to do, and they say, you're locked down. You're not allowed to leave your house. What do? They simply go, we only deem X amount of things you can use your transactions on now with your central bank card. You can order food to your house, and you can order, medication. That's it. You can't buy gas.
Yeah.
You can't go to the store.
The other day, I got the secondary cell phone, so when I go through basically travel, I can just take that one with me.
That's a great idea.
And
by the way, if you guys know what he's talking about here, is having a secondary burner phone you travel with in the event that the phone gets seized or anybody wants to go through it.
Or you lose it.
And
then what happened is I paid like $300 for it, right? And it's like an iPhone 14, got it used. Great, and I just give it a $50 every month. It costs me $50 to have it working. It's just whatever, and I don't have it run through my main account. It's just secondary. And what's funny about it is I called up the other day. I called up the day after to check with American Express to see if the charge had gone through, and they said, "Oh no, it's pending, upon our approval."
Yeah,
you hear what I just said? Upon our approval. Now we've already approved it, but we haven't paid it yet. We're checking it. And I'm like, whoa. And that's exactly what you just said. Yep. Pending their approval. So they're putting the AI stuff in place for that already.
That's exactly right.
Now, one more thing. That place in Lakeland that has all of those businesses in there that only take credit cards.
Correct.
I guarantee if you dig deep enough, it's a little hat person.
Oh, 100%.
Who owns the building. And what they do is this. They are charging a percentage of the total gross sales every month in addition
every
to
transaction.
Rent, on every transaction. They don't want cash because too many people pocket the cash and don't declare the extra money.
We only made $5,000 this month at the shop, but they actually made 10, but half of it was cash.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that.
So they get charged a percentage. I know years ago, I had a friend of mine owned some Subway sandwich shops, and they got paid like, if I remember right now, this is just I can't remember, it's a long time ago. Subway got paid like 10 or 15% on the top on the gross. Of everything that came in, and they want to supply all of the product, all of the goods to regulate what they were selling there, so they can make sure they were getting their cut off the top because they were a franchise. Which I understand that, but that's how they regulate franchises, and that's how they get percentages. And it's the easiest way to do it is with digital currency.
That's exactly right.
Because now they have to declare every single thing that goes through. Oh, by the way, the Spanish beach thing has gotten worse. This thing is coming in more and more people now from Africa going into Spain.
Well, you know why? Remember, Spain called out Israel.
Yeah, Israel.
They called them out 6 months ago.
And it says dozens of military-aged men are now continuing to leap from boats into packed tourist beaches in mainland Spain this week. It's not stopping; it's continuing. They're going to bring millions in again. But again, that destroys the infrastructure and the culture of the country. Now, I had a friend of mine, you know, Mike. Mike's basically a really big guy, and he's like a trained military guy. And he said, "Well, they just need to hire mercenaries." No.
You could put in defense contractors, but
and designate these people as enemy combatants, as soldiers that are coming in. And then you do what they did on the D-Day invasion, and you just mow them down, haul off the corpses, dump them out in the med, and be done with them. Now you look at me like, you wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. That's a fact. But I would go out there with doggone boats and ships, and I'd find them, and I'd drag their butts back to Africa.
Now, what they could very well do, and I don't know why they're not doing this, is they could deploy their version of National Guard, and the National Guard could deploy tear gas.
But remember, Spain is woke.
Yeah.
Okay. It's basically a communist country, and so they have rights. The people do there more than the people who live there, and so they want to make sure they don't make the world mad at them. But they put something like a PT boat out there with a bunch of doggone ropes on it. They could grab every one of these boats that are coming in with cables and drag them back to Africa and stop this. But they don't, because these poor people are dying. Well, they're military age, probably mercenaries that are coming in who are primarily Muslim. Hate to say that, but they are, and they want to come in and invade, have a new life in Spain. Remember what Angela Merkel said, within 20 to 30 years, about 20 years now, Germany will no longer be a Christian nation. It will be a Muslim nation. And so you see all of this stuff, and then you realize that these people are going into the swimming pools now, okay, and they're being hit. The swimming pools are being hit by what's called a disgusting brown challenge.
I saw that over in Europe now.
Okay.
I thought this was a joke.
No,
it's
not.
satire.
No.
I looked it up. It's not a joke.
Spain's peak summer season has been disrupted once again by a revolting viral trend that has forced the closure of swimming pools and water parks across the country, leaving families stranded as scrubs clean at public expense. They're actually coming in right now, and they're pooping in the pools on purpose, and this is this brown challenge. You think to yourself, this is funny. No, it's not funny. I had this happen one time in a swimming pool at Somerset. You remember this. I had a guy come over. He had about the brain the size of a pea, maybe the walnut, I don't know. And he put a kid in the pool, a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old, in the pool with his wife with a non-waterproof diaper on. And I said, don't do this. If the kid takes a dump, it's going to go all in my water. And within 30 minutes, the kid took a dump in the pool. Whole pool went brown. You remember this also.
I know, it was disgusting.
And I mean, it was
Probably got to drain the pool.
Well, no. You don't have to drain it, but you got to filter it and then dump the doggone DE powder.
You got to dump an enormous amount of chlorine in it, too.
Yeah. But now the best thing to do is to drain the pool and scrub it.
Yeah.
But the problem was, it happened to me one time, and it wasn't. You think you guys are laughing. I know you think it's funny, and now I look back on it, it was crazy.
You can laugh about it now, but it wasn't.
It wasn't funny when it happened, and I mean the whole party was ended. And then they got to go out to the nasty Lake Whistler, one of the most polluted messes in the world. And
boy.
But the problem is they're doing this on purpose in Spain now. They're calling it the Brown Challenge. And so my question is this: is it the Brown Challenge, the people who live there, or is the people who basically coming onto these boats doing all of this stuff?
Oh, I guarantee you it's people that are moving there, that are coming here.
Because remember,
nobody that lives in a community thinks that's funny to do it to where you're going.
And remember, this happened in Germany. Remember, they raped like 1,000 women in Cologne one night. These guys did, and molested them. It was crazy, like on New Year's Eve. And they come in and they come out of Somalia, and they've got like a 55 IQ. That is not an exaggeration. And they were bringing them in to operate Mercedes and BMW plants and Volkswagen plants, and they couldn't train them to operate equipment because they couldn't teach them how to push a broom. They couldn't teach them how to flush a toilet. They were pooping in the flower beds and on the streets. You think, that's disgusting. Well, no, that's Angela Merkel, who was raised as a hardcore communist in East Germany. Angela Merkel did more to destroy Germany than Stalin did, as far as I'm concerned. She's unbelievable what she did with current Germany. But of course, with Stalin, when he took over Eastern Germany, they decided to kill a bunch of Germans. It was unreal what they did over there in that country. And the sad part about it is they're doing the same thing to us right now also. Now they're doing it to Spain. This is the group of people that want to run the planet. That's why Spain said Israel was doing it. Just thought I'd mention that.
Oh, they flat out said it.
But Israel has the strongest immigration laws in the world.
Rules for thee and not for me.
Mm-hmm. And so it's just, they don't let people come into their country like that.
All right, I got to switch food gears real quick.
Let's do it.
A lot of people, I'm going to ask you, I need something from you in a minute here. I'm covering this article. I have gotten multiple people on YouTube
52-year study.
Yeah,
wow.
Multiple people on YouTube today. Multiple people. 2 so far, probably more than that now, have asked for your egg salad recipe.
Oh my gosh.
So, while you bring that up, this is a very short but brief synopsis of a 52-year study. It says new research suggests that regularly eating eggs can be a simple yet effective way to maintain mental sharpness as you age. Probably one of the reasons why you're still sharp too. You eat insane amount of eggs all the time, along with me. You eat them all the time.
I had 3 this morning. The other day the kids came over. I told you we cooked 20 eggs.
Yeah,
20
eggs. It
eggs.
says about 2/3 of Americans experience some degree of cognitive impairment by age 70. Not you. However, a recent study published in the journal Nutrients suggested that eating eggs may be a simple way to reduce your risk. The researchers found a link between egg consumption and improved semantic memory and executive function, particularly in females. However, it was across the board, though. So basically, the study did a 52-year-long community-based observational study that says participants' egg intake from 1988 to 1991 using food frequency. They tested participants on various cognitive tasks: language, orientation, attention, recall, executive function. List goes on. Participants underwent a fall assessment of their cognitive function from 92 to 96. The findings showed, basically, as they continue to monitor this now, they showed that women who ate more eggs frequently experienced less decline in their fluency scores, which was used for language and assessment evaluation. The findings also showed the likelihood of cognitive decline in women decreased with each increase in egg consumption. Now, it goes on to say here, and I don't understand why they put this in here, because this is so stupid. This is that medical model that doesn't understand anything about physiology. It says, well, you also have to understand that eggs do contain cholesterol.
That's total garbage.
What do you think your brain's made out of?
Fat.
Fat. It's fat. It's all fat. Your brain needs cholesterol. Your body needs cholesterol. This concept now in the medical model that, oh my gosh, you're not at the exact number we tell you to be with your LDLs. You're suddenly going to die. You're going to die from stroke or heart attack right now. It's complete nonsense, especially if you have a clean, healthy diet. Everybody processes fat differently. Everybody's cardiovascular system functions differently. Going in and saying there's one arbitrary number you have to be at with this across the board for every single male across the country is one of the most stupidest things you can possibly do to your body. Look at all your functions on your blood work. Look at your energy. And I'll tell you this right now, for men, one of the most key indicators of healthy cholesterol, healthy testosterone, and healthy fat is libido and sex drive. Period. If you don't have proper fat, if you don't have good energy, if you don't have proper nutrients, your body doesn't make testosterone. That also means your sex-binding globule is low. That means also your free testosterone is low. Everything starts to get out of whack, and libido and sex drive drops. You've got to have proper cholesterol in your diet. So, that being said, one of the
reasons statin drugs cause so many guys
become impotent.
Okay, egg salad.
Egg salad.
Now, here's the thing. It all depends on how many eggs you got. I mean, I cooked 2, 4, 6, 8, 20 the other day. So all these different things are different. But here's what you do. Number one, I don't try to peel an egg by peeling it.
No, we got to start from the beginning. How long do you cook them for?
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, well, a lot of people want to know.
What I do is I bring the eggs to a boil.
The pot of water or eggs in the pot?
Eggs in the pot to a boil. And then I shut it off and put it on simmer.
Okay.
That's it. Simmer. You don't boil them. You just let them kind of slowly cook. Put a lid on it. Let it cook for 7 minutes.
Okay.
That's it. Then take them out, test one, make sure they're okay. Now they're done. Cool them down. Then let them cool down a little bit, or you can do it hot, but it's better if you cool them down a little bit to make the egg salad. Then let's say you take 4 eggs. Now what I do is a lot of people try to peel the eggs, but you lose too much of the peel of the egg. I just cut them in half and take a spoon and scoop them out. I learned that when I was running.
By the way, once I started doing that, it makes it way faster.
It's a lot less frustrating. And so you just got to watch out, make sure you don't get shells in it, but you don't lose half the egg. So you scoop them out with a spoon, both sides, put it in there, and let's say you take 4 eggs in there to make egg salad for yourself. Then you put them in the thing, and you mash them up with a potato masher. Then what you do, take like a thing of mustard, and just go one big squirt, okay, in there, into the egg. You think, how much is it? I don't know. I can tell you, I don't. It's probably a couple tablespoons, right?
Maybe 2 tablespoons.
It's about 2 tablespoons.
4, yeah.
Oh, yeah. When I do the big ones, I really.
Now you add salt and pepper?
And I know pepper. I add salt to it, and then I take a little bit, and then I stir it up. Because what happens, if you put the mayonnaise in first, the eggs are going to be too runny if you put mustard in it first.
Okay.
So you put the mustard in it first, and you put just like half a tablespoon of mayonnaise.
Now this
avocado
is avocado organic mayonnaise. There's only like 1 or 2 brands we use.
No canola oil.
We never use soybean oil or canola oil mayonnaise.
No, and then you put about half a tablespoon of the avocado mayonnaise in it, and you stir it up, and then you can season it to taste with the salt. It's great. Try it. You'll love it.
Sometimes I'll put chipotle powder a little bit on mine.
You can put a little bit.
Spicy.
You can.
But that's taste preference only, because some people don't like it spicy.
But that's how simple it is, and so it's really easy to make it like that. And
it's like a dessert. Honestly.
Well, the other day I did Hunter and Kendall on the back porch, right? And Stetson was out there too.
Yeah.
They're all out there, and Stetson's too. And I said, "Who makes the best egg salad?" All 3 of them.
They'll point at you.
Up, And I said, "Okay, that's good."
Well, he comes out with a plate. I mean, Hunter's a plate of egg salad.
Like 7 eggs.
Gone. Comes back. I said,
"What's more?
Do you want more?" He goes, "Yes, Dad. I'd like more." I'll make more. He goes in there, comes out with another plate. Hunter comes back about 5 minutes later. I'm full now.
He ate like 10 eggs.
Yeah, that was it. They went and chilled out, went to the pool the rest of the day, and then ate dinner later on that night. But that kept him held over for a while.
And then I gave the organic vegetables and chicken for dinner. Yeah. You think, well, you really eat like that? I really eat like that. I don't do sodas. I don't do stuff like that. And people say, well, your diet's boring. My brain works.
There you go.
I feel great. I take 0 medications. My body fat's low. My skin doesn't sag. I exercise 6 days a week. My hair isn't a toupee.
But your diet doesn't excite you every day.
No.
Well, come on, I'll be honest with you. I enjoy eating egg salad.
And every time I get my blood tested, they always say your LDLs are too high. My response is always kick rocks. I'm not. Who cares? I don't care. I feel great.
That's a key
and I thank
indicator.
God for this.
Well, then when they've come in for like, I was doing really good. Libido's really strong. Had good energy, good muscle mass, and doctor said my cholesterol was too high, so they put me on statins. How's it working out for you, brother? Well, I have no sex drive anymore. I can't maintain muscle. I have no energy. I'm exhausted all the time.
How'd that work out?
How's that low cholesterol and statins working for you? I mean, if that's the difference, well, it's going to make sure you live in an extra couple days of your life. But you're going to be unbelievably miserable with no sex drive and no energy. You get 3 more days though. I'll pass. I can operate without this.
So you have no sex for 37 years. You live 3 years longer.
With no muscle mass.
For 3 days longer.
No muscle mass. No energy, and no mental acuity.
So it turns into a vegetated pencil neck with no sex. And I'm not making a big deal about sex because I know a lot of you guys are single. But the problem is if you're married, you got this issue. You got a problem, especially if you're. Well, never mind. I could go there. By the way, God loves you. So do I. Thank you for your support. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and he is the answer for everything. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. For he is the author, he is the finisher, he is the perfecter of our faith, and it's through him all things are held together. Keep your hearts and minds in Christ all the days of your life. Keep your hearts and minds as a Christian. Play worship and praise music, and stay happy, stay healthy, and realize your food is here to sustain you, not to entertain you.
That's exactly right.
I love you all, so close it up.
Grab the collagen peptides if you want them on sale. Today's the last day I got them on sale. You guys voted, and I'm going to see what wins tomorrow. I'm pretty sure the multiple powder is going to win.
I got to say this again. Now, if you want saggy skin and bad hair, nails that fall off, do not take the collagen. Really important you don't use that product.
Guys, check it out. vote. I appreciate you. Healthmasters.com if you need anything. Broer Show for the show every day. And thank you for my YouTube listeners. Now you guys got the egg salad recipe, lest you think I don't listen to you. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow as always.
Love you guys.